In this video, we are going to discuss Chinese remainder theorem. And in earlier lecture, we discussed linear congruence and the theorem and corollary. So, any equation of the form Ax congruent to B modulo n is called linear congruence, where A, B are integer, n is fixed integer. Then we discuss the theorem. Theorem states that the linear congruence Ax congruent to B modulo n has a solution if and only if D divides B, where D equals GCD of A comma n. If D divides B, then it has D mutually incongruent solutions modulo n. So this congruence Ax congruent to B modulo n, this congruence equation has exactly D mutually incongruent solution only when if GCD of A and n, GCD of A and n divides the integer B. So whenever D divides B, this linear congruence has D mutually incongruent solutions. So what is meant by incongruent solutions? We discuss in example. If GCD of A comma n equals 1, then the linear congruence Ax congruent to 1 modulo n has a unique solution modulo n. So when the GCD of A comma n equals to 1, then the linear congruence Ax congruent to 1 modulo n has a unique solution modulo n. So let's have example. Solve the linear congruence 18x is congruent to 30 modulo 42. So comparing given congruence with Ax is congruent to B modulo n, then we obtain value of A is 18, value of B is 30 and value of n is 42. So GCD of A comma n, that is GCD of 18 and 42 is 6. So 6 divide 30, this implies it has 6 incongruent solutions. So it has 6 incongruent solution where 6 is GCD of A and n. Now first we find particular solution. 18x is congruent to 30 modulo 42. This implies 3x is congruent to 5 modulo 7 dividing by 6. So now here 3 does not divide 5. So to find particular solution, here we add multiple of 7s in 5 until unless 3 does not divide this sum. So as 3 does not divide 5, so in 5 we add multiples of 7 until unless 3 does not divide this sum. So here I add 1 into 7, that is 7. So 5 plus 7, 12. So this implies 3x is congruent to 12 modulo 4, which imply x is congruent to 4 modulo 7. So therefore x is equals to 4 is solution. Hence all other solutions are of the form x is equals to 4 plus 42 by 6t, which is congruent to 4 plus 70 modulo 42, where t lies in between 0 to 5. Why 5? Where t lies in between 0 to d minus 1. Here d is 6, so t lies in between 0 to 5. So if we put value of t in this equation, we obtain this solution 4, 11, 18, 25, 32 and 39 for all values of 0 to 5. So total 6 solutions modulo to 42 we obtained, and these solutions are incongruent solution. Why the word incongruent used? Incongruent means let's see, suppose if I put t is equals to 6, then I obtain 7 into 6 42, 42 plus 4 6, sorry 46, and 46 modulo 42 is again 4. So for t is equals to 6, I get one solution called 46, and 46 is congruent to 4. So 46 is congruent solution, and which is congruent to 4, which is congruent to 4. Similarly, if I put another value t is equals to 7, so here I get 53, and 53 modulo 42 is equals to 11. So 53 is congruent solution to 11. Similarly, for t is equals to 8, I get congruent solution to 18. That's why the all possible incongruent solutions are these. So therefore these are incongruent solutions, and incongruent solutions are obtained for value of t lies in between 0 to d minus 1, where d is GCD of a comma n. So let's have problem set 4.4. Question first. Solve the following linear congruences. First, 9x is congruent to 21 modulo 30. Second, 5x is congruent to 2 modulo 26. 25x is congruent to 15 modulo 29. 6x is congruent to 15 modulo 21. 36x is congruent to 8 modulo 102. 34x is congruent to 60 modulo 98. And 140 is congruent to 133 modulo 301. So let's have solution. First we choose this one, we solve this one. So given congruency is 36x congruent to 8 modulo 102. So first we find GCD of a comma n, comparing this equation with ax is congruent to b modulo n. So value of a is 36, value of b is 8, value of n is 102. So therefore GCD of 36 comma 102, that is 6, and as 6 does not divide 8, this congruence equation has no solution by the theorem. So therefore this congruence has no solution. Now take first example A. Given congruence is 9x congruent to 21 modulo 30. Comparing this congruence with ax congruent to b modulo n, then we obtain value of a is 9, value of b is 21, and value of n is 30. Now d is equals to GCD of 9 comma 30. So GCD of 9 comma 30 is 3, and obviously 3 divides 21. Therefore this linear congruence has exactly 3 incongruent solution. Has exactly 3 incongruent solutions. So first we find particular solution. So let's proceed to find particular solution. 9x is congruent to 21 mod 30. Dividing on both sides by 3, so we obtain 3x is congruent to 7 mod 10. Now here 3 does not divide 7, so we add multiples of 10 until unless 3 doesn't divide the sum. So this implies 3x is congruent to 7 plus 2 into 10, that is 2 times 10, that is equal to 20. So 3x is congruent to 27 modulo 10. This implies x is congruent to 9 modulo 10. 3x is congruent to 27, so x is congruent to 27 upon 3, that is x is congruent to 9 modulo 10, dividing on both sides by 3. So therefore x is equals to 9 is a particular solution. Hence all other solutions are of the form x is congruent to 9 plus n by d t. X is congruent to x naught plus n by d t, where x naught is particular solution, n is 30, and d is GCD of a comma n, that is 3, and t is some integer which is congruent to 9 plus 30 by 3 10. 9 plus 10 t modulo 30. 0 is less than equals to t is less than equals to d minus 1, here d is 3, so 3 minus 1 2. So now for value of t equals to 0, x is equals to 9. For t is equals to 1, x is equals to 19. For t is equals to 2, x is equals to 29. So 9, 19, 29, these are the solutions for the given congruence, and these are incongruent solution. All other solution for the value of t equals to 3, 4 and so on, they are congruent to some of these. So these are the only incongruent solutions. Next, I choose this example. Comparing the given congruence 6x congruent to 15 modulo 21 with ax congruent to b modulo n. So we obtain value of a is 6, value of b is 15, value of n is 21. So GCD of a comma n, that is GCD of 6 comma 21 is 3, and 3 divides 15. So 3 by 15, sorry 15 by 3 is 5. This implies it has exactly 3 incongruent solutions. So let's find particular solution. 6x is congruent to 15 modulo 21. Dividing on both sides by 3, we obtain 2x is incongruent to 5 modulo 7. So since 2 doesn't divide 5, so we add multiple of 7s in 5 until unless 2 doesn't divide the obtained sum. So here we just add 7 in 5. So 5 plus 7, 12. So 2x is congruent to 12 modulo 7. This implies x is congruent to 6 modulo 7. Thus x is equals to 6 is a particular solution. Hence all other solutions are x is congruent to x naught plus n by d t. Here value of x naught is this particular solution 6, value of n is 21, value of d is 3. So 21 by 3, 7, which is congruent to 6 plus 7 t modulo 21, where 0 is less than equals to t is less than equals to d minus 1, that is 3 minus 1, 2. So for t equals to 0, x is equals to 6. For t is equals to 1, x is equals to 30, and for t is equals to 20, sorry, t is equals to 2, x is equals to 20. So 6, 13, 20 modulo 21, these are the only incongruent solutions, and all other solutions are congruent. Now next example, comparing given congruence 140x congruent to 133 modulo 301 with ax congruent to b modulo n. Then a is equals to 140, b is equals to 133, and n is equals to 301. Now GCD of 140 comma 301, GCD of 140 comma 301 is 7, and 7 divides 133. Here is mistake. 7 divides this b. So 7 divides 133. This implies this congruence has 7 incongruent solutions. Here is not 301, 7 divides 133. Note that 7 divides 133. That's why it has 7 incongruent solutions. Now let's find particular solutions. So first we have to find particular solution. For this, 140x is congruent to 133 modulo 301. So 7 can dividing on both side by 7. This implies 20x is congruent to 19 modulo 43. Now 20 doesn't divide 19, so we add multiple of 43 in 19 until unless 20 doesn't divide this. So this implies 20x is congruent to 19 plus 7 into 43 modulo 43. So here multiple of 43 means we have 7 times, we add 7 times 43 in 19, so that 20 can divide this. So this implies 20x is congruent to 320 modulo 43, which imply x is congruent to 320 upon 20, that is equals to 16. So x is congruent to 16 modulo 43. So here x is equals to 60 is a particular solution. Hence all other solutions are x is congruent to 16 plus n by d t, that is 16 plus 301 by 7 t, which is equals to 16 plus 43 t, 43 t modulo 301. This implies where t is varies from 0 less than equals to t is less than equals to d minus 1. D is 7, so d minus 1 is equals to 6. So t varies from 0 to 6. For t is equals to 0, in this equation put t is equals to 0, I get x is equals to 16. For t is equals to 1, I get 59. For t is equals to 2, I get value of x is 102, and so on. For t is equals to 6, I get value of x is equals to 274. So these are the incongruent solution for this congruence, and all other solutions for values of t greater than equals to 7 are congruent to some of these. So x equals to 16, 59, 102, 145, 188, 231 and 274. These are the congruent incongruent solution of the congruence 140x congruent to 133 modulo 301. So these are the examples. Whatever the remaining examples, try this at home. Take this as an assignment. Now let's start Chinese remainder theorem. So Chinese remainder theorem states that let n1, n2 up to and so on nr be positive integers such that GCD of ni, nj is equals to 1 for I not equals to j. Then the system of linear congruences x congruent to a1 modulo n1, x congruent to a2 modulo n2, x congruent to ar modulo nr has a simultaneous solution which is unique modulo the integer product of this integer, that is n1, n2 up to nr. So product of this ni, where I varies from 1 to r. So what Chinese remainder states here, n1, n2 are be positive integers such that GCD of ni and j equals to 1. So GCD ni and j equals to 1 for I not equals to j. This implies so every ni is co-prime to other than ni element, means all these integers are co-prime to each other. This states GCD of ni and j equals to 1 for I not equals to j. All these integers are co-prime to each other. Then the system of linear congruences. So this system has exactly r congruences. X congruent to a1 modulo n1 up to and so on, x congruent to ar modulo nr has a simultaneous solution which is unique modulo the integer product of n1, n2 up to nr. So let's start the proof. So assume this product n1, n2 up to nr. Let the product n1, n2, nr is equals to n. So I assume this product is equals to n. For each k equals to 1, 2 up to and so on r, let's define capital Nk is equals to n by nk. So capital Nk is equals to n by nk. So value of this n by nk is what? Suppose if I have to find for k is equal to 1, n1 is equals to what? N upon small n1. So n upon small n1 means I have to divide this product by n1. So I obtain product of n2, n3 up to and so on nr. So n1 is omitted here. So for n2, n upon n2, so I obtain value of n upon n2, means I have to divide this product by n2. So I obtain value of capital N2 is n1, n3 up to nr, product of this integer, means here we omitted n2. So in general, to find n capital Nk, n upon nk, so here is somewhere the term nk appears. So this gives n1, n2 up to nk minus 1, nk plus 1 and so on nr, product of this. So here nk is omitted. So in general, nk is means, in words, nk is the product of all the integers ni with the factor nk omitted. Since for I not equals to j, gcd of ni comma nj is equals to 1, this imply gcd of capital Nk comma small nk is equals to 1. So this is given condition. For I not equals to j, ni and j are co-primes, means their greatest common divisor is 1. This implies gcd of capital Nk comma small nk is equals to 1, and as gcd of this equals to 1, then we have the congruence capital Nk x is congruent to 1 modulo nk, has the solution say xk. So as gcd of nk comma small nk equals to 1, then the congruence nkx is congruent to 1 modulo nk has the solution, and we assume this solution xk. Since xk is solution of the congruence nkx congruent to 1 modulo nk, where k is lies in between 1 and r, or k equals to 1, k equals to r, then nkxk is congruent to 1 modulo xk. Nk xk is congruent to 1 modulo, here is term nk. Call this as equation 1. This implies, now multiplying on both sides by ak, so we obtained nk xk ak is congruent to ak modulo nk. Here is nk. Note that here is nk. So this implies nk xk ak is solution of x is congruent to ak modulo nk, and this implies nk xk ak is a solution of x is congruent to ak modulo nk. Now let assume that x bar is equals to the sum a1 n1 x1 plus a2 n2 x2 plus and so on plus ar nr xr. Here I assume x bar is equals to this sum. Then we have to prove that x bar is a simultaneous solution of the given system. Now we claim that this x bar is a simultaneous solution of the given system. What was the given system? X is congruent to a1 mod n1, x is congruent to a2 mod n2 and so on, x is congruent to ar mod nr. So now we have to claim x bar is simultaneous solution to this system. Now for I not equals to k, here for I not equals to k, ni is equals to n1 n2, we define ni is equals to what? This n1 n2 up to and so on, ni minus 1, ni plus 1 up to and so on, nk plus 1 and so on nr. So ni is what? Ni is the product of the integers n1 n2 up to nr which omits the term small ni. So here ni is omitted, small ni is omitted, so ni is equals to this. So and here is term nk appear, and I is not equals to k, so this is the product term and nk is here means nk is factor of this product. That's why nk divides ni. This implies nk should divide capital Ni. So as small nk divides capital Ni, this implies capital Ni is congruent to 0 modulo nk. So as nk divides capital Ni, this implies Ni is congruent to 0 modulo nk. In this case, the result is x bar equals to a1 n1 x1 plus and so on plus ar nr xr is congruent to ak nk xk modulo nk. In this case, we obtain the result x bar is congruent to ak nk xk modulo nk, but the integer xk was chosen to satisfy the congruence. But what we chosen xk is what we already assume that xk is the solution of this congruence. Nkx is congruent to 1 modulo nk, which means x bar is congruent to ak into 1, that is equals to ak, means x bar is congruent to ak modulo nk. This shows that a solution to the given system of congruence exists. This shows that a solution to the given system of congruence exists. Now we have to prove that whatever the solution exists is unique, means we have to prove uniqueness. For the uniqueness, suppose that y bar is any other integer that satisfies these congruences. So we assume that y bar is any other integer that satisfies these congruences. So x bar is congruent to ak mod nk for k varies from 1 to r, and y bar is congruent to ak mod nk for k varies from 1 to r. So this implies x bar is congruent to y bar modulo nk for k equals to 1 to up to r. So why these are congruent? As x bar is congruent to ak, y bar is congruent to ak, that's why x bar is congruent to y bar modulo nk. And by definition of congruence, this nk should divide the difference x bar minus y bar. So here we proved simultaneous solution exists. Now we are proving whatever the solution exists is unique. For that we assume y bar is any other solution, means y bar is the any other integer that satisfies these congruences. So therefore x bar is congruent to ak mod nk, y bar is congruent to ak mod nk. This implies x bar is congruent to y bar modulo nk, and this implies nk is congruent to x bar minus y bar. Since GCD of ni comma nj is equals to 1, this is given for all I not equals to j, GCD of ni comma nj is equals to 1. Here nk means what? What is nk? Okay, so GCD of ni comma nj is equals to 1 for I not equals to j, and here we obtained nk divides x bar minus y bar for k varies from 1 to r, means here n1 divides x bar minus y bar, n2 divides x bar minus y bar, n3 divides x bar minus y bar, and so on, nr divides x bar minus y bar. Okay, so we know the result. If GCD of a comma b equals to 1 and a divides c, b divides c, then ab should divide c. I repeat, whenever GCD of two integers a comma b is 1 and a divides c, also b divides c, then the product of a and b, that is ab, must divide c. So using that result, here n1 divides x bar minus y bar, n2 divides x bar minus y bar, and n1 and n2 are co-prime. This is given, that is GCD of n1 n2 is 1. That's why the product n1 n2 should divide x bar minus y bar. Similarly, if we proceed in this manner, we obtain the product n1 n2 up to and so on nr should divide x bar minus y bar, and this product we denoted already. This product is equals to value of n. So this implies n should divide x bar minus y bar. So as n divides this difference, this implies x bar is congruent to y bar modulo n, hence x bar is equals to y bar, which completes the proof of Chinese remainder theorem. So the proof is little bit lengthy but easy to understand. So this is one of the important theorem. In next video we discuss examples on Chinese remainder theorem. In that examples we solved a system of linear congruences. Thank you.